the book, you can guess if you so you ready?
Yep.
So here's the question. Why are you unhappy? Because 99.9% of everything you think and of everything you do is for yourself, and there isn't one. Not bad, eh?
That is so familiar.
Yeah, it's very good.
Way, way, way.
Yeah, way, way, way.
And I never read them. I just heard you guys talking about them.
Oh yeah, there you go. Well, you're getting learning something. It's
All right.
difficult.
Yeah,
It could be a difficult slog, way, way, way.
it didn't
He's
help me
my
yesterday.
favorite
So,
author, favorite non-duality author. But yeah, he can be a bit brainy.
You need one of those noble things, a brief synopsis of it. Yeah,
At
it would.
least at Cliff
Yeah.
Notes.
Same thing with the Course. The Course can be a heavy slog also. Course of Miracles. If you just you can boil it down to certain things. Yeah. Yeah. Because if it's not you, that's not suddenly, never, it's always not been you, then the value or the weight that is given doing changes a lot. Yeah. So these things that they may write books about, you'll find out what you need to know out of them, and you may not need to know much. Yeah. It's easy to be established in something that's established. Yeah. So the whole point with me, it boiled down to seeing what you're not, and really that's that. Yeah. And not tons of descriptions of what it's like, what you're like, but just see what you're not with tons of descriptions of what you're not. And then it will trigger, and you'll get established in something that you are already established in. Yeah. And you'll realize there's not a you and that which you're established in. It's just established. And then it becomes quite powerful and traveling lighter here. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this thing that I got, I've had before, and usually it's a long haul. Yeah. So when the head looks at it through time, it feels like it's gonna be a long drag. Yeah. And it can't help itself. That's how it looks at things. So, and the head, even though it's completely aligned with the body, doesn't think it's a body. Yeah. It thinks it's something else. And that it's almost like an imposition that it's encased in the body, and it would like to do anything it could to leave this fucking baggage, and it gets frustrated, obviously, and the powerlessness grates against it very much, because its whole assumption is that it has power it doesn't have. So it's constantly being frustrated and pissed off. And but he made a deal with the devil, yeah. The only way it gets a sense of being the subject is to be seen as an object, the body. And as the Course says, the brain interprets the body of which it is a part. That you should know. This is such an important statement. Yeah, if you just heard that, it explains a lot of stuff. Excuse me, I'm going to blow my nose. So I'll do it in the other room. Hold on. Just enjoy yourself for a minute.
He could just mute.
That wouldn't have the dramatic effect though. Come on.
So its whole basis is on this idea that it's a body, and it doesn't even like that idea. So it's and I've noticed times when I've gotten ill or something happened to me that there wasn't any memory of. Yeah, it was something new, or it went somewhere different. It usually jumps ship. It's playing the role of captain, and it hits a certain point. He just throws the hat and he just jumps ship, and then you're just in this vacuous void. There's no thought. It's just raw feeling going on. Yeah. And I've watched this captain jump out a number of times. And then it sort of, I'll let you know, when I was younger, I was in Bali. I think I may have shared this before. I was in Bali and we rented a van. I was with this lady and her son, 8-year-old son. And we were trucking around Asia and got this van, and we drove around the island, and we were up on the northeast of it, away from all the shit that's going on with the tourism. And I was into waterfalls, so we stopped at a village and we asked, hey, are there any waterfalls near here? And they go, yeah, there's a trail right over, down the road here. And then just walk in about 1.5 miles, you'll hit a waterfall. So we went there and we got there, and the waterfall was not too big, but it had pools, which were really nice. You could swim in. And I went under the waterfall, and I felt like there was something in there, and it was like an invitation. And before I could say anything, something in me said yes. And then something occurred. And in a weird way, it was pretty cool because I had witnesses, the kid and the girl. And I just, the time-based narrative of Paul stopped, and there was Pauling or non-Pauling going on. Yeah. But the narrative stopped completely. And there I was. I don't know what happened. I was just my friend Cindy said all the structure of my face just fell, and I was much more relaxed. I was like, whatever. So and they're leaving me alone, and I'm just sitting there blissfully and stuff. And then I was sitting there blissfully, and I heard a voice, heard something far away, not that far. It seemed like it was talking from behind this rock. And it was talking. I wasn't recognizing anything then. It was just, oh, I know him, or nothing like that. And it starts talking to me. Yeah. Starts talking to me, and it seems to be moving closer. It's not a thing, but the volume keeps going up. And then it hits a certain point where it switched from talking to me to talking as me. Yeah. It was really a trip because it slowed down. I could see it slowly to me, to me, to me. And then suddenly a flavor shifted and it was as me. And I was sitting on this rock and something seemed to enter. Yeah. Wasn't a thing, but it felt like that. Of course, the party was great until it showed up. So, but I got there, and then Paul got let's say reduced and stuff. And though the event was strong enough that I was still having the visuals and the audio, yeah. I mean, you could see a drop on one like a palm leaf, and you'd be in a like Avatar movie, into this world of water. And then we left this place and we hiked out. And I was waiting for like a parade to be ready for me, yeah. All these people were going to acknowledge the greatness that I sort of knew. And I got there, just got in the van, kept driving, going to see some dolphins at some other beach. Yeah. Now, this was the most potent one, but at other times, some things like that would happen. And then usually they seem to end, or actually something else began, by a thought, which was, I'm having an incredible epiphany. Yeah. So as soon as the event was owned, or the stranger that says it's you shows up, everything changes. Yes. Seemingly, the narrative kicks in. What needs to be denied and obscured is denied and obscured, and then you're the central character once again. But the idea that you saw the emperor with no clothes, and now you see you are the emperor. Yeah. You are the emperor. It's not about you're something else, and then you've got to see the emperor with no clothes. And hopefully with this message, you finally realize no matter how many clothes it's wearing, the emperor has no clothes. But you're the emperor wearing the clothes. Yeah. It's not only the emperor that you see, it's the emperor that says it's seeing you. Yeah. 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 This is the weird thing, because if you go into the first closet of the emperor that you notice, you can recognize it's sort of like uniforms in a way, but you're not privy to the other closet where you're now gobbing yourself. Yeah, you're not, but the head is gobbing itself. And it has a fucking wardrobe. It may have robes in there. Yeah, definitely sandals, loose fitting clothing. Yeah, a small mirror, because vanity isn't, bad, no. So a loving gaze, probably. And so the seeing the emperor with no clothes isn't seeing an emperor with no clothes. It's seeing you as the emperor wearing clothes. Yeah, it's simple. And then, you know what? You're very clear that first, there is no mountain, because this used to frustrate me when I'd have these events, or whatever you want to call me. I'd have the event, and of course you'd like to have it more, or whatever, and then the frustration that can be a mental reaction to something that was pretty blissful. The duality of the whole event shows its ugly head, and now you're frustrated, and you're trying to do what you can to produce something you didn't produce. It was just the absence of all the producing. So you get frustrated. It's sort of like you saw everything without the mountain, and now the mountains are get back. But the reason why your reaction to the mountain is your reaction is that there was a mountain to begin with. Well, in fact, there is no mountain. Yeah. And if you can suddenly just see that that's the truest, excuse me. Yeah, well, I'm getting too high in the mountain scenario. So, but it's, if you look at the reappearing of a mountain based on there was a mountain, and then you supposedly got rid of it, and now it appears again, who's going to be blamed but for the appearance of the mountain? You. Yes. But you didn't do shit. This is how the head generates more of itself. But if you have the understanding, first, there is no mountain. It's simple. Yes. First, there is no mountain. Then there's a mountain. Then there is no mountain. And then there's a mountain again. If it starts with first, there is the mountain, it leads somewhere completely different than if it starts with first, there is no mountain. Excuse me. So I'm going to stop for a little while. The energetics are getting too much for the body, but yeah. So really, what we're sharing here is how you're going to get a sense of what you are is seeing what you're not. Yeah, it's just very simple. And to start questioning not all the particulars, but this sort of complex conceptualization where it's so egregious that you're trying to get in to something you can't be out of. and you're trying to get out of something you can't be in. That's pretty fucking extreme. Yeah. And if you're so blind on that level, can you imagine how much you're gonna see on as it goes on? Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna chill and just we'll sit in quiet and I'm gonna transmit something to you. Hopefully it's the pain I'm in, so you can fucking have some. Because it has a limited quality. I figure if I give some to you, they'll run out faster.
I had a similar experience to your waterfall experience, Paul, once. I was with my first teacher, and we were in Rishikesh. We were in India, up in the holy area. And it was the second time I'd been there. We were on retreat, and I sat down to talk with him. I was talking about becoming a student, and joining his community and things like that. And we started talking. We were talking about we were just talking about music because he was asking where I'm from and Detroit area. And we talked about electronic music and jazz and all this stuff. And there was this weird sensation, like it was really strange, like something unlocked. It was like a Kundalini guy, like in the base of my spine. I felt like all this pressure start to rise up, but I became like an observer of that. It went up through the head, but then at a certain point, I was just gone. It was just in pure awareness and timelessness.
Oh, pure awareness.
Well, pure awareness, right? I know you love that one. That's your favorite. No, but as this thing started to fade, right? Like this, whatever you would call it, like the experience, and I was 18 or 19, I think, at that time. My second time there, 20. It started coming back down in the head, and I started hearing these voices, and I'm hearing these voices go on. I'm like, I'm hearing conversation. What is this? What is happening? And I realized it's me and him talking. And we're still just talking about like Detroit and music. It like started coming back into my head. And then at a certain point in time, that switch flipped, and it was me talking, not a voice I was hearing. It was a wild thing. So it was when I heard you share that waterfall experience, I was just like, oh my God, because it was so weird, like hearing voices and then realizing it was you talking, and then to come back and I was in a conversation with someone, so to realize there was all this, it was kind of like a blackout, right? There was all this activity going on. And yet I have no memory of the conversation really, except for the fringes of it.
Yes.
And we came back down. We were both smiling, and he had this big smile on his face. I think we were in the same place. We weren't. There was not two of us really, but it was. But then afterwards, the ownership happened, and just like you talked, like I wandered out on the streets, and I was kind of bliss drunk. But like once that ownership had happened, I was like back in the identification, wandering the streets, and things are kind of glowy and blissed out, but I was kind of like, the head was stunned a little, like stun drunk, you know?
So this should be an example. You have a very moving free sample, and yes, the stubbornness of what you're not continues.
Absolutely.
Take your eye off of wanting these peak experiences and look at who is it, because that's what's going on here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The one that wants it.
It's like everyone wants to know the truth, but let's know the falsehood,
Mhm.
which is this idea of you, yes?
Yeah.
And then the truth will reveal itself and all of its little branches and things. It will. But this idea that you get a hit and all those years of thinking you're a sheep is forgotten in a second. There's no, you were just a lion all the time. And you know that more time wouldn't have changed that, and the more space wouldn't have changed it. And yet the programming itself kicks in, and in a second, you're the sheep again, seemingly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, some people have a strong enough event that gets seen all in a flash, but most people, I don't believe, do.
Mhm. Yeah.
And this is not a well-earned treasure. You are that treasure. Awakeness is a fact, yes?
Yeah.
Like the subject objectness doesn't change the subjectivity of everything. So it's really to be clear about what you're not is the recognition truly is the intimation of what you are. all the other intimations of what you are conceptualized, yes?
Mhm.
And they don't serve you, literally. Yeah, and a lot of times those concepts that maybe you thought were really great tend to be extra weight
Mhm.
that they're gonna have to be seen through and dropped, yeah, or whatever, not even dropped. The concept that you're the one that's letting go based on that you are holding on, that's dropped, yeah. But yeah, the stubbornness of the programming, uh, the suit, it's like a space suit that responds to the space suit. It not doesn't respond to the space person. It's responding to the space suit. As the course says, the brain interprets to the body of which it is a part. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna start before the brain as a brain-like activity? No, of course not. So this is failure. Failure is in the horizon, and you see it now. Hallelujah. Failure is the key. Loss of interest is the key. You finally lose interest in becoming something, and you find out you are that which you wanted to become. That's always what happens. Do you believe people who are seeking and seeking, they realize they just stopped seeking? No. When there was a stop seeking, something was revealed that wasn't being revealed through seeking. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not like, oh, I just stopped seeking. Why were you seeking and why did you stop? Yeah. Well, there you go. Could you imagine it would be like so many people try to stop doing what they're doing, like food addiction or everything,
Mhm.
or drugs, with this stubborn belief that if they only could manage better, it would work out. And it goes that stubborn idea goes on and on and on. Yeah. This isn't about punishing you. Stop seeking for the gold. It's now you stop seeking for the gold and find that you're the gold. Yeah. How do many people get clear about that? Seeking. Yeah. Most people, I would imagine if you weighed all the seeking that is represented in these squares, it would come to be about 400 years of seeking or more. Where did it bring you? Finally to an answer. Yeah. So you would think, oh, I waste my time. No, you didn't. It's valuable. Yeah. Because you're convinced. I went so far in drugs and alcohol, I am convinced thoroughly. Yes. It's not like I get excited when I hear about a new drug that wasn't available when I was out there. I see every new drug same as the old drugs. The same thing. New super process with a teacher, blah, blah, blah. It's the same as the old processes with teachers. Yeah. You're not, it's not the things themselves are bogus. It's not that it's not the greatest new thing. The thingness of this is bogus. And you've come to that conclusion. Yeah. What happens? Who would want to try to explain that? Just enjoy it. Yeah. And you'll realize the head, which is totally interested in itself, cannot picture an uninterested head. It can't. The programming only has maybe 8 postures. Yeah. And then little like displays that are a little different, but they're the same 8 postures. It can't, its yoga is I, you, and me, just sitting.
Yeah.
It wishes someone else would be doing the dead man's pose. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to get a little dirty. I'm gonna stop there. Yeah. So just leave it alone. Come
rem-
to Zen Bitch Slap XXX. We'll share further in that.
It reminds me of
Ooh, but yeah,
Mike's thing when it had the vibrations of like when it changes depending on the container you pour it in, like how the resonance even behaves. So it's like, of course, it has limitations because the brain interprets to the body, of which it is a part, because it's what you are having dreaming a human experience and holistically. So, but
if
the
you're
limits
into
are going to
the
be there.
Course of Miracles, if you're into the Course of Miracles, and you read something, and the next sentence said, "And this you should know," I would pay attention to the previous sentence. Yes?
Mhm.
When it says something like that, like when it talks about relieving our vision and giving it to the head, yeah, and then having it play a GPS, it would say that would be totally academic if the vision was readily available, yeah?
Yeah.
But we can't, if we're busy looking, we can't see, yeah? We've gotta, the looking needs to be altered, and then you'll see, yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah. What is awareness? Here, it's looking, isn't it? The awareness gets objectified, and now you are aware. So an object is aware. And that's a form of looking. That's blindness to the seeing. So we're using what we're looking for to look for it. Like Huang Po said it, they all say it, You can't use the Buddha to seek the Buddha. Yeah. I'm looking for awareness as awareness. Yeah. So when you stop looking for awareness, obviously the obviousness of being it will become available. Yeah. Yeah. And here we are, we're like an incubator room in a hospital. You just come to satsang, cook a little, just sit around every day, come every other day, whatever, and you get cooked. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah. The stock on the retreat businesses are going to go down. Yeah. That's why they knew it before. So that's why they have them in Costa Rica, and you're going to go kayaking and zip lining and all this. They got to fill it up with a lot of shit.
It's
Because
great.
customers have become the customers are fucking figuring shit out. Yeah. Can you imagine anyone signing up for a retreat in Hoboken, New Jersey? Newark, New Jersey? We're gonna rent an alley and we're all gonna sleep in that alley. There used to be a Zen thing that did that. They lived on the streets for 7 to 10 days, but they knew they had a place to live. That's not living on the streets. That's vacationing on the streets and then going back to a nice house. Living on the streets, you don't have a house. Yeah. After 7 days, 10 days, 5 years.
Big difference.
Yeah, you can.
Emma, we got this place around the corner from us. My wife just got back yesterday from a 3-day retreat, but it's like it's a beautiful place in West Michigan, and it's really kind of a retreat, like not a retreat like you're seeking something. It's a retreat like I'm not taking
Michigan.
calls, I'm not getting,
Yeah.
just put everything on hold and you just be. You walk around with the flowers and the plants, and you relax. It's a retreat from the noise just for the purpose of a vacation, essentially. Really.
And this is exactly the same as this message.
Yeah.
You're going to have a perpetual retreat from that which is bringing in all this heaviness and everything else. That's what our retreats, that's why they have them in beautiful places.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's not. I feel like on the outside, when you're, you know, in the world and activities and job and kids and all that, there's getting 3 days at a little retreat is great. But
Yeah.
the idea that you're going somewhere other than where you always are that's a whole other trip.
I have no problem with the retreats. I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
screw around with it because of how it's been used by the spiritual addiction.
Totally. No, I get that.
Yeah. And so that disturbs me.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you had a heavy time, I would like to go on a retreat today.
Yeah. Like I like the way you guys, you know, you get together somewhere, you enjoy good company, you have some thoughts. Yeah, it's just
I'm gonna drink honey and lemon and
take care of yourself.
put some menthol things on my chest, and
Mhm.
I'm even considering the watching Bloodline again. Who knows?
Yeah.
Told other people to do it. I might as well take my own fucking advice.
I've still not watched that one. I gotta, yeah.
Doesn't matter. You don't need it. See, I need it when I had the knee operations, I needed Bloodline. Yeah, I think I need it now. I'm gonna have to go soon. I can't keep it up much. Uh,
That's the, yeah.
but let's just say hello to
I
someone.
started
One
talking
more.
to give you a break. That's why. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Anyone, one more, and then we'll just start saying goodbye. If that's all right.
Steve's got a he's got a thumbs up and a hand up. Steve.
Hey, so lately I've been having this pattern of nothing being scheduled for the day, and all I do is sit and watch TV, and then I get angry at myself through the day because I actually have a bunch of stuff to do. And I'm really not sure how to look at that.
Well, ask who is it that's upset and who is it that's doing it. Yeah.
Really can't do. It seems like in those times, I am like like the zombies you talk about, in the sense that I don't even go to that question. You know, I don't go to the toolbox of options. You
Well,
know,
why not?
I don't seem to be aware enough in those moments.
Oh no, you're plenty aware. It's just the head is distracting. Just do
Yes,
it.
so it's very distracted by the head.
So get into the habit of throwing in that, asking who is it, and that whole train of narrative is going to be stopped in its tracks. So yeah. And what's
Okay.
ever going to be revealed when it's moving down the tracks, you'll see. You'll see that there's something there that's not the Steve it's talking about, and not the Steve that's talking about it. You're going to sense it. Yeah. So just throw that word in, throw that little subjective question. Who is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing
I've done.
inherently wrong with watching TV all day or not. There's nothing inherently wrong in anything, in a sense. Everything is given the meaning that it has. Yeah. Now, in a lot of times, we find ourselves in a situation where you and I are the dreaming of the dream. We forget that. And what happens when we forget that? Well, everything we're dreaming and giving all the meaning it has is now has been given a meaning of biting us in the ass. Yeah. That's basically what happens. So here you are, you're describing that perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah, getting bit in the ass.
Yes.
Okay.
And you think it's because you watch TV all day. Someone else would be, I was at the beauty parlor for too long, or someone else on the infinite scroll. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just and no one that's being under that effect is very rarely are they asking, well, who is it? Because the head that wants to have that narrative doesn't want to ask that question, doesn't want it, because it would take a lot of the air out of the fucking balloon it's just blowing up. Yeah. So just you'll watch the train stop on the tracks. The who am I is like we call the pause in AA. Yeah. You just say, well, who is it that's feeling frustrated by me watching TV all day? Surely not you. Yeah. So there you go.
Okay.
It's the
That works for
simplest
me.
thing in the world. You don't even, all the workings of the head. This is like the tiniest little wrench. You could just toss it in there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just sit, I did an exercise once. What's the problem with that exercise? And just sitting here, I realized there was actually no problem with what was happening yesterday.
Yes, of course.
There was just watching TV and telling stories about it.
Yes, but it's not the TV and the stories. It's you. You are seeing that you shouldn't be watching TV and
Uh-huh.
shit like that. You have a larger, more noble calling to waste your time doing that. It's all
Yeah.
like to reinforce a meaning about Steve, literally. Yes.
I
Yeah.
should be taking better care of myself. Yes.
Well, maybe you should,
Yeah.
but if you don't, just shut up and be accountable for it. You know? Yeah. Because if you have this conversation and it's gone past the 30th time, it's you're the butt of the joke. You might as well just be accountable. I do
What
I
is
do a lot of shit as an action figure where most people would say, you got to look into that before you make that decision. I don't. And sometimes it blows up in the worldly way in my face. I'm not on the phone bitching about it. I just fucking swallow it. Hey, never, I went in that direction. It didn't work. Well, there you go. Yeah.
okay?
Yeah. I mean, when you need work, it's good to get the work done, but you're not always needing work. There's a point where the urban renewal project has reached a certain level and it should be called off. Yeah.
Yeah.
That that budget of attention and interest could serve you much better being put into other situations. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm just like, hey, make the bed, clean the kitchen, vacuum. Those fundamental things.
Yeah. The easiest thing is if it bums you out when you sit down and watch TV for 8 hours, don't sit down and watch TV for 8 hours.
And if I had that choice in those moments, it seems like there's no option
All right.
there.
So, all right, Steve, this is beautiful. You realize you don't seem to have no choice in the moment, but then when
Right.
it shows up later, it's completely coming from you had a choice and you didn't do the right thing. What is it?
I didn't follow you there.
You just said you had no choice. You just eating and stayed there for 8 hours. But then part of the head comes up later and its whole fucking narrative is based on you had a choice. You shouldn't have done that.
Right. It's the judge. It's the
They're both
prosecutor.
bullshit. Yes? Jesus Christ. You just saw it
Yeah.
in 1 second. The thing that's
Oh,
laying
okay.
down the law breaks the law all the fucking time.
I get it. Yeah. Okay.
This is policeman thief happened
Yes,
in a little
absolutely.
1 day scenario. Yeah.
Yeah. It's rebellious kid, dominant mom, whatever. Yeah. Policeman thief.
Just see it. Yeah, please. And then ask who is it? Yeah. Who is
Okay.
it that's been seen? And who is it that's telling me it saw it? Both of them are not you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then fucking you'll watch TV or you won't. Maybe the importance of watching it out TV would be the quality of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to learn about the last two northern white rhinos that are alive in Africa. Pretty interesting. I just watched it the other day. Didn't know anything about the northern white rhinos, and they only have two females left, seemingly, and it's not looking good for the northern white rhinos. Wow. Yeah.
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 Maybe he didn't slip down the stairs
Maybe
doing.
it's just get a better TV guide, watch better shit. You may learn a new business, or you may learn something you can do that will increase your revenue or something like that. Who knows? Yeah. It's weird that we enter in this event and we have everything stamped, you know. This is that, this is this. Yeah, it's like just going through the motions after a while. Yeah. It's not the TV, it's not this, it's not that. The head just wants to be agitated and involved. So it throws out this bait. We bite it, and then we're on a shipping expedition, fishing expedition with it. Yeah. And then you get dropped off right where you were when you left. And it's really is as if nothing ever happened. All the weight of yesterday, did you feel it at night? You probably didn't when you were deep sleep.
No, not at all.
That should tell you something. That should tell you something. Some these things that seem so heavy have to have me there to seem so heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where's the heaviness? Is it in those things, or is it coming from us?
Oh, definitely us.
So that's Steve, and the us that's coming from isn't you. Hallelujah. Yeah.
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 Thank you.
It's all right. Yeah, bro. I'm so happy that you're here, and
Me
uh,
too.
just whatever's holding something together is tenuous at best. And we're just looking for that acupuncture point, and then bammo. Yes, yeah. So just keep showing up.
Okay, I will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, you're welcome. So I
Hey,
think
Paul, Mika has his hand up.
all right, but I gotta go. I'm getting tired.
Okay,
Yeah. But
got it.
Okay, hello. Yeah, I just felt like needed to share something this time, even though I felt a bit too tired too. One thing that reminded me that you mentioned that transmission before, and I actually think there's some truth to that. And I feel it like that's part of what's going on here. That something gets
I
transmitted.
didn't hear what you said, Mika. If you can start that over.
Oh,
Transmission.
okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so just about what you mentioned about transmission, I think that's actually, I feel what happens here is something gets transmitted, some kind of
Yes.
spirit of freedom. It's like a breath of fresh space.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why I've been coming back.
Well, you're onto something. Yeah. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yes. What would be the thing to do when you find the water fountain? Drink, yes. Yes. I've got to find another water fountain should weaken pretty much, and then you drink at the water fountain. Here we are, we're meeting at the same water hole today. Yes. I look around, there's Mike, Lion, Kathleen, Lion. Yes, there you go. We can take the sheep clothing off and just roar a little bit. Yes, get fed as a lion for an hour, and then go back into the sheep world. Yeah. What the hell? This is an oasis, bro. It's an oasis. Satsang is everything is truly transmission, everything, vibration. And satsang, in my very, very crude radio skills of picking up a frequency has a very, very open just an open space, really. Quite good. And I've seen the consistency of it with all these years on Zoom. So yes. Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah, it is. And if you know, I mean, people come here. There's no need for them to come. They come because you get fed. It's great. Yeah. And then whatever you get fed is going to be made into something in your life. You're not the digester and the regurgitator. Something's going to cook. And I have great faith in it because I've been spit out by satsang, and I went willingly back into the mouth of the tiger just to get spit out again and then back. It's sort of cool. I remember the day I realized I'm never going to ask another question. Yeah. Because all the satsangs I went to, the ones that were really primo, brought me to a point of futility, which was actually a hallelujah at that time for me, which was great. Yeah. And some of those streams never attracted any more water ever again. They just dried up. And this is the only thing I do is go to satsang, basically, and coffee with people. Yeah. That's basically it. Yeah. We sing the same song 800,000 different ways with the hopes that one note gets through, and then you got your own symphony playing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty zen thing to just repeat the same message.
Well, it's worth repeating because in time, repetition has value. Because in time, the unforgettable can seem to be forgotten. In time, yeah. So repetition is very helpful. All right, thank you for that share. I'm going to take off soon. Just say goodbye, Mike Clark. Nice to see you. Bro, we can get different color t-shirts. You still get the six in the bag, but they're different color.
Oh, there's an idea. I'll look for that.
Yeah, just expand your fashion plate. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
It cost about $1 more for the color. All right, Jacob K, nice to see you. Kathleen, Smitty, always a pleasure. Eric, we had a wonderful time. Kathleen stayed around here for 2 weeks. Very nice. Eric Platt.
Good to see you.
Mr. Yes. David Bitterman, Michael Stacy, the man, Miak, Judy Lovins, Zerkton 264. Oh, Alan Olson, the nefarious Olson brothers. Yes. Tom M. Heather, the resident magician of Zen Bitch Lab. Esther, I'm coming around the mountain, Esther, soon. Couple of weeks. I'll be back east if I don't pass away between now and then. Robert Ryan, nice to meet you, Robert. Yeah,
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
you're welcome. Stephen Logan, Gio from Brazil, down under there.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, Steve. Anand Sindhu, Fletch, Stephanie F., John in Florida. We had a lovely meeting today, the recovery meeting. Yeah. Really love this opportunity to see everybody, and see you soon. We'll have another talk tomorrow night, Wednesday at 7 Pacific time. And I hope to see you. I hope I see some of you live soon.
Very, very hope so.
All right. Adios. Yep.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.